Hello, little baby. Okay. So, basically, Trump has announced the official recognition of... What are you doing? Stop! The official recognition of Jerusalem as the capital city of Israel. People are up in arms about it because they're stupid. Let me just put this into like 100% whatever, okay? The Jewish people moved to what is now known as Jerusalem and the lands that surround it thousands of years ago. Some 4.5 odd thousand years ago they moved in, something like that, okay? Now, the word Palestine was literally invented by the Roman Empire as a way of oppressing Jewish people, okay? So they made a pact with the up and rising Islamic conquest of Europe, and they made a pact with the Islamic Empire at the time, the Ottoman, I think it was the Ottoman Empire. I think they made a pact with them, basically to just say, the Jewish markets and traders are getting too rich, too powerful. We're too weak as an empire to do anything about it, so we'll hire you to basically occupy their lands to make sure that they can't become more powerful than they are already, and we'll call it Palestine, which I'm not sure on the direct translation, but I mean the literal translation I'm not sure about, but it basically translates into oppression of Hebrew, or the oppression of the Hebrew or the Jews. They don't just have a right or a claim to that land, it is theirs. The Dome on the Mount stood thousands of years before Islam was even a religion, and when Islam invaded, they do what they've done, and they do what they always do. They go in, they annex. Once they've annexed off portions of either the cities or countries, they claim it as theirs. Now, obviously, when you're fighting a war, that's basically how war goes, right? Hitler, Stalin, Khans, whoever, it doesn't matter. You are a force. You go into a territory. You take over. You put your own rules in place, and then you take over the country. This is how war works. Okay? Now, as a people who, and again, the Jewish history is as checkered as any others, but they're leaning towards peace and cooperation, free market. Basically, what we call now capitalism is the reason why people hated and still hate the Jewish people, because they're good at business. Who doesn't hate that someone can pick up a grain of sand and all of a sudden that grain of sand can become £1,000 because they've managed to sell it in a way that makes it interesting to people. This isn't just sand, this is magic sand. This is pixie dust, and bottle it and make it pretty and sell it to people, and people will buy it because people love those kinds of ideas. You see, that's $1 million idea, right? That no, I might just do that myself. I don't want to share it with you now. Fuck. But there you go. I've just made you a millionaire. Go get some sand. Sell it as pixie dust. Everybody hates a successful person, and the Jewish people have always been successful, and destroying success has always been the go-to full position for the people who lost, basically, the people who lose. And the thing about the Jewish people is they're not fighters, they're not warriors. I mean, really, they didn't pick up arms until after Israel was actually formed. And even though there was a sort of a fairly distant past of where there was historical evidence where, you know, the Jewish people were at wars with different tribes and things like that, that's no different to any other country in any of the parts of the world. That people have this idea that Jerusalem is somehow an annex, that they annexed their own property, basically, and that Israel is an illegal state, is preposterous. It's preposterous. It's as it would be like having a house, living in the house, having burglars break in, squat the house, having the council then tell you that the squatters have more rights than you, and that you are actually not allowed to live in your own house, and that actually your house that you own now belongs to them. And that's just not how it works. That's just not how it works, okay? So basically, if you are pro-Palestinian, you are genuinely just supporting just more fucking fake news fake news propaganda that's been being pushed out for the past fucking 1,000 years, and you're buying into it, and it's you know, you're an absurd person, okay? And I could go on, but I don't need to belabor the point. What I'm saying is that once again, Donald Trump, despite everybody trying to pick him to pieces and tear him apart, stands there and delivers on another one of his promises. Not all of his campaign promises have been really good, you know, like rescinding the fucking climate change and all of this stuff. He's made mistakes, but here's the thing, it's 2 years now almost into his term, 18 months, something like that, 2 years into his term, okay? They still don't have any concrete anything to impeach, but they're still screaming about impeachment, but there's nothing to impeach him on. And by this time, Obama had already started 3 more wars with 3 other nations that at the time, allies, I say we as allies, as like, we as a nation of allies, UK and Britain and EU, couldn't sustain anyway, and yet he started them. Now, but you know, by the end of his 8-year term, 7 fucking wars, and it's just, yeah, man. Like, I get it. You're talking to someone who, more than anything, and I grew up in a very, a very toxic environment. I grew up in a very toxic environment, and that's why I'm so fucked in. But I'm not blaming it. I'm not blaming it. I'm just pointing it out. That's why I am the way I am. Nature and nurture both fucked me over. So, you know, I'm sorry. I'm fed up. I'm fed up of people not realising. I'm fed up of having noticed the pattern as well. But it's like, for me, I already knew this. I don't know what the hell was supposed to be going over again and again and again. But we do. We go over it again and again and again. And it's piss, to be honest. There you go. And that's 10 minutes as well, so I'll keep it there actually. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Instead of listening to your mate down the pub about what you think Islam is, yeah, and protesting, actually read a book, or keep, trolling and like pretending that these politics are actually what your viewpoints are when they're not. But here's the thing, unfortunately, the left has been exposed as to actually genuinely holding a lot of these fucking beliefs. like wanting to kill all men, like thinking that rape is okay, as long as you're a leftist liberal though, you know, because you support the leftist cause. It's okay to get away with these kinds of crimes, and it's not even done anymore with tongue-in-cheek. It's not even done in a kind of like, I'm trolling you, trying to get a rise out of you. It's done in with so much sincerity. It's sad. And yeah, today was kind of one of these days. I haven't made a video, and I saw the video, and I just, oh yeah, I'll do that. Do a video today. My lips look. I just need them plumped. It's big. Right then, I'll see you later. Bye.